Hey guys, it's Mike Taylor, aka Battleship Cobra, your friendly neighborhood consultant, and today we're going to cover dashboards. We've been doing a series on dashboards. We've covered kind of why you would do them, how you can start. We've been working with the decision speed framework from IBM from the Performance Manager book. So now, once you've selected your GOMEDs, your goals, metrics, and your dimensions, now you can start to do your visualization. So we're going to do different components and work with them in Crystal Dashboard Design in order to show you how they operate, why you would do specific data sources in specific ways to visualize them, and some different ideas for you as you're going to create your own dashboard. So today we're going to cover charts. I'm going to do a selection of charts that I've prepared, and I'll show you kind of an overview of some of the other charts. I'll show you what type of data that I would use for those specific charts, and you can get a sense of just how easy it is to use with Excel and how you would do some fun things with some interactivity and some interactions that way. So remember, if you want to support me, go to supportme.battleshipcobra.com. I really appreciate it. Like, subscribe, share with a consultant friend. You can follow me on LinkedIn. You can take my Crystal Reports course for SAP Business One. Just check it out, and I really appreciate it. So let's jump into these charts right now, and let's go. Okay, as mentioned, today we're going to be doing charts AF. Okay, so let's start with a preview. This is something that I have prepared here. Preview. Let me just check my. Did this go up way higher? No. Okay, so here you can see several sets of data that we've done. So I built all these obviously in Crystal Dashboard here. So let's take a look at each one individually. So here is a line chart. This is a really common one, and you can see sales trends, dollar values. This is for last year, this year, year to date, last year, year to date. And you can see here all the points plotted, 2017 actual versus your 2017 plan versus 2016 actual for comparison. So a cool thing about this is you can use this scale selector, and you can look maybe at a quarter. So isn't that cool? That's really neat, I think. You can slide this along and really look at the different months and get a sense of, where are you, what are you doing. I just think that's really amazing. So let's jump in and take a look at the data relating to that. So again, a line chart, it's not really that kind of sexy of a chart, but you can see here the name, subname, month, sales trend, dollar values here. So I have my different series. So basically you just output this in, you could do this dynamically even. You could do this whole thing dynamically. The labels are dynamic, the information in it is dynamic, the chart is dynamic, and everything will, once you have a 2018 plan and 2018 actuals, it'll just roll over. You can just do SQL queries and have that just be really dynamic, so you don't have to keep redoing anything. So basically you click on the chart, and you can see here I've just done the line chart, B2, it's the name, subtitle, category, axes there. Then I did the ranges, 2017 actual. These are all derived dynamically, including the category labels. So everything is set up just from this data. It's very, very straightforward. We're not going to do any data insertion today. So data insertion basically means you click here and it moves data somewhere else. I have a couple of other examples with some of the charts where you can click in and see details. So this is like insertion you can think of as a drill down. Okay. So behavior, I did a range slider. This is the range slider, so you can look at the various parts of the year, and that's something I think is really neat. I'm not going to do much more here. You can set your scales manually. I like the animation. I think it's really clean. Appearance, you do these things here as well. I guess I could set, let's see here, layout. What am I looking for? Behavior, scale. Fixed scale labels this is the Y scale. So yeah, this is nice. Fixed scale label, 25K. This I've actually used in a couple other places, so I'm going to keep this consistent here. Fixed label size allows you to say 1,000, million, billion, trillion, etc., which is really nice because sometimes it gets too wide. I think this is okay, but I could convert this chart also. Maybe I will just convert this chart here. So behavior, scale, fixed scale. There you go. So that's pretty cool. 25K, 20K. Okay, so you can see these various things here. Let's check back on this chart. So behavior, a lot of nice options here. Divisions, you can do manual divisions. Animations I went through. Appearance, so you can control the colors, you can control the shape. You can do series markers here. Transparency, you can have like more fancy gradient backgrounds. I didn't really do that. You can change the axes, all sorts of things, grid lines, text. You can change the formatting of the text. You can change the sizes. It's fully customizable here. Colors, everything is customizable there. Alerts, we're not going to do alerts on there. So a line graph, like obviously this is kind of the standard for doing time analysis for specific items. It's not very sexy, but it gives you a beautiful view of definitely data over time, and that's what we're going to use that one to. So if you're going to do sales, year-to-date plan, or any type of data like that, series data, you can do that. All right, let's jump back in. Okay, so the next thing we're going to look at here is the good old pie chart, and I kind of turned this into a donut chart just because it looks kind of cooler. So you could put your mouse over here and you could see marine, motorcycle, lawn, generator, auto, the percentage and the value too. You can format that as well. So then what I did is I added a drop down, 2016 total, ooh, 2015, and it shows you the division. So it was really auto heavy in 2015, and you can see now that it's a smaller part of their business. They've done a lot more in marine. So you could think of something maybe like like Honda, auto, marine, motorcycle, lawn, generator, and so you can use these. So let's take a look at the data source for those. Pie chart. Okay, so you have again, we're doing this all dynamically, so we're going to say the chart name, the pie chart, obviously this can be all renamed, label axes, values, and I did this inner radius thing as 67, but I mean you could leave this as a true pie chart. I just thought this was kind of cool. Let's do 65 is good. Kind of just interesting. So again, we're not using data insertion. This, you could click on the actual results, and then this would load the data somewhere else, or do something, or create a list, or create a filter. This can be used to click and again make really interesting analysis there, but I'm not doing this now. I'm going to show an example later. Behavior, you have to have the animation on. I mean, who turns that off? Dynamic visibility, and then appearance. So you're going to see series, all the various same things, color, everything's totally customizable, and you don't have to do anything fancy schmancy. The only thing that I did here was I pulled 3 years worth of data, and then I used a specific drop down. So I made this little drop down, and I said, what you need to do is take these labels, this list of labels, okay, and then what I want is take the value and I want the source data, so same values, and then I want you to have this destination here. So what happens is when you click this drop down and you pick one of these values, the destination is a data insertion. Remember, data insertion means it puts data somewhere else. It's putting that there. And then what I did was I just used a VLOOKUP like a totally standard Excel VLOOKUP, and I moved the data around, and then I just made the chart based on this piece of information here. So, I mean, again, this just shows how, most of you are probably great with Excel, and just being great with Excel means you're already 50% there. So, then all you need to do is pick your go meds and just jump right in and start to use this. Okay, jump back to our preview. So another thing I really like here is these Sparklines. So I have a sales trend by employee, and then I have Sparkline. So I got a couple of my favorite people: Joe Rogan, Tim Ferriss, and Jocko Willink. So you can see here, this is just like more trend data. It's not really scale. So this is, it's less focused on, the actual values. We're not saying, this could be a million. As long as the trends are good, we can see them. So if you want to say, like, what are we trending in the different areas, you could do that. And then you could use data insertion to look at another chart. So I didn't do that here, but what I did was I added a little checkbox to smooth out the lines. Maybe you have a seasonality index. So I'm going to click this. And you can see here that, because of seasonality, they look pretty similar. So, right, this is, you're getting close to December. Then you have removing seasonality. You can see that Rogan is, he's kind of middle of the road. You can see Tim Ferriss is trending a little bit down, but you can see Jocko's really taken off there. So if you remove the seasonality aspect of it, you can see that. So that's really neat too. And this again is, this is mostly Excel. So let's look at the information there. So our Sparkline. Okay, so let's move this. So here's the Sparkline. So we have all of our months. So these are the total sales months. Then I have the seasonality factors. So this checkbox, let's move this over a little bit here. Okay, so what happens is with this checkbox, you can see source source there is going to be normal and adjusted. Unchecked 1, checked 0. Okay, and then it's going to have a destination or a data insertion of C11. So then all I did was say the seasonality is this, and then the impact, I just said if this is 1, i.e. seasonality is on, seasonality is like left as original, just use this as 1. But if you check, or sorry, just leave it with the seasonality factor. Otherwise, what's going to happen is you check it and it's going to strip out all of the seasonality values there. So what you're going to have here is, Joe Rogan, all these things, you're going to have all of this data here, and then you just base your Sparklines on this dynamic data, and when you check or remove the box, then you're going to see that change. So that is an interesting use of that. Looking at the next one, we have expenses by department. So you're going to see here executive, labor, management, consultants, engineering, and office. So you can see what their total is. You can click here and you can actually see the data insertion work. So this is another chart type. So you go labor and it breaks it out there. Tools, consumables, bonuses, travel, and you can see, okay, here's executives, management, consumables, or sorry, consultants, engineers, and office divided by all their things. And then you can see here salary, travel, bonuses, everything broken down. So that's a really neat, this is using data insertion. So the clicking is doing a data insertion and modifying the stacked bar chart. So as you go along here, this is causing everything to change. So again, this is what we call typically drill down information. So I'm going to do the stacked charts here, so column chart. Okay, so we have executive with the totals. The totals are running this table, and then you have your individual breakouts here. And then what you can do is, here's the totals, here's the breakouts, and then here's what's actually selected. So I just used another VLOOKUP, And then what I did is I said, when you click on one of these categories, you're going to do data insertion to put it here. And when you put it here, then it's going to VLOOKUP what you data inserted there and check for salary, travel, tools, etc., and put those in there dynamically in order to show the correct information in this lower sample stacked bar chart. So this is going to say, this is going to be, I forgot to do this here. So we're going to say expense by department. We're going to call it a stacked bar chart. Okay, great. Series 1. Okay. Okay, that looks good. So let's jump back in there. So the third one, well, the last one we got going on here is a horizontal bullet chart. So I like these because you have your comparative value here. Sorry, you have your performance value here. So you can see USA is almost at 800,000. You have your comparative value. I did that as last year to date. So at the same date last year, you were only at 600, so you're doing a lot better. And then I have this comparative scale value, which is last year's actual total. So you can see here a lot of information. So you can see Russia, Mexico, Canada, and this is a really good way to do comparative analysis. So it says basically, well, here's the portion of what you're doing, and it gives you a good way of looking at those type of metrics like total, current revenue, and all those things. So let's take a look at the data. So USA year-to-date, and this is it. So this one's very, very simple. You just have year-to-date. And again, this can be all totally dynamic too. I more or less hard coded it, and there's no, I mean, I didn't hard code the names, but everything is selected based on these 4 ranges. So you could do like top 5 regions with those things and then have it dynamically come out there. But this is one that I tend to use a lot, a bullet chart as well. So that one's really cool. So let's take a quick look here and see some of the other charts. So those are the ones I used. I mean, you have these ones, are these called candlestick? I think these are called candlesticks. So there's a range for the day, the opening balance and the closing balance. This is more like a stock chart. I haven't had a chance to use that too much. Candlestick, I think this is similar. I don't know that one that well. Column charts, stack column charts, bar charts, bubble plots. So you have different values at different areas. Scatter plots. You have, let's pin this open here so I don't have to keep moving it. Radar charts. I guess those are just based on different axes. Tree maps. So those are kind of cool. Horizontal, you have a vertical bullet list too, so I tend to use those. Sparklines, which I really like. Waterfall charts. You have a Marimekko chart. So those, I mean, these are the ones you're probably going to use the most in terms of charts, I would say, in a business context. Obviously, you know, for visualization's sake, there's a lot of other ones in here that are really cool. So again, take a look at the charts. There's tons of them in Crystal Dashboard Design, something for everybody, something for all the different scenarios you can think of. I'll include this link in the description box as well, so if you want to play with this file, you can definitely have that, so you can learn and see what I did. So that's that for charts. I hope you got a lot out of that, and you've seen a lot of the different charts. I'm trying to throw in some creativity into the charts. Instead of just going through each one, I've selected ones that I figure you would use more. So that's it for this video on charts. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Don't forget to go to supportme.battleshipcobra.com, and I'll see you in the next video.